A whip cracked, shattering the stillness of the icy landscape. The thunder of hooves grew louder as the curricles approached the bend, neck and neck. The road was narrow, the bend was sharp, but neither curricle slowed. The horses raced, straining to get ahead, heads outstretched, breath steaming in the frosty chill. As they hurtled around the bend, the wheels of the claret and silver curricle grazed those of the black and yellow curricle.
"For God's sake, Rafe, show a little care, if not for yourself or me, for my shiny new curricle," Luke Ripton, the driver of the black and yellow vehicle, yelled.
For answer, Rafe Ramsey's whip sneaked over his horses and cracked just above their flanks.
"You're driving like a lunatic, man, more so than usual."
"I've got a wedding to go to." Rafe snapped the reins and urged his horses faster.
"You want to get there alive, don't you?"
Rafe glanced across at his friend. His eyes flashed blue ice. Seeing that look, Luke had no qualms about easing back to let his friend's curricle take the lead. He and Rafe raced all the time. Usually it was a joyous madcap experience, but the mood Rafe was in today. It wasn't directed at himself, Luke knew. Rafe had arrived at their rendezvous that way. Nothing Luke could say could snap him out of it. Rafe had responded to each sally and quip with a cold, barely restrained politeness, as if politeness could bite. Luke, knowing the signs of old, gave up trying. Rafe was one of his oldest friends, and was usually the coolest, calmest fellow he knew. But on rare occasions, he descended into these moods, and the only thing to do was to let them burn themselves out. The cause was always the same: Axbridge. Rafe rarely took his anger out on his friends. Anger in Rafe didn't show outwardly. It burned him up from within. The war had been a useful outlet. These days, he raced. Today, Luke had pressed Rafe harder than ever, hoping that by the time they got to Harry's wedding, Rafe would have burned away his anger and become his usual charming self again. Instead, Rafe remained wrapped in ice and burning with rage. His eyes held a curious blank expression that told Luke his mind was far away. Luke raced more cautiously, as if he could make up for his friend, who drove like a man possessed. The entrance to Alverley came into sight. The high stone walls of the estate broken by an imposing pair of black wrought-iron gates, supported by two large stone pillars. Today they stood open to admit the Earl's guests on the occasion of his half-brother Harry's wedding to Lady Helen Fraymore.